What if I told you that for your entire life, you've possessed a hidden sense, a powerful ability, so natural yet so profound, that ancient cultures referred to it as the third eye? And what if I told you that today, right now, you can begin the process of awakening it? Now, think about this for a moment. Have you ever had a powerful gut feeling that turned out to be absolutely right? Or have you ever thought of an old friend, only to have them call or text you just moments later? That wasn't just a coincidence. That was a flicker, a brief glimpse of this hidden sense breaking through the surface, reminding you that it's there. There is a reason this knowledge, once guarded and kept secret for centuries, is now coming to light, and it is no accident that you are here, watching this video. A deep part of you, a part that has always known a greater truth, is ready to awaken. The secret that only a few have been brave enough to share is now waiting for you. So, listen closely to that feeling, that inner knowing. You were touching the thin, shimmering veil that separates two worlds. Yes, there are two distinct realities that exist in parallel, and you move through both every single day, even if you are only consciously aware of one. For ages, certain traditions and their guardians have protected this sacred knowledge. They learned how to move between these realities with the same ease that you walk from one room to another in your own home. They weren't superhuman. They were simply people who knew how to reactivate a dormant ability that is your birthright. The wisdom I am about to share with you has been passed down in quiet whispers, from teacher to student, across generations. Why all the secrecy? Because this knowledge is like fire. It is immensely powerful. Used wisely, it can illuminate your entire world. Used carelessly, it can burn. But something is shifting on our planet. I feel it, and I know that you feel it too. A part of you is beginning to stir, to recognize a truth it has always known but somehow forgotten. Do you feel that sensation now, like you're on the verge of remembering something incredibly important? Listen, that is your inner voice, guiding you here. Before we go any further, I need you to do something for me. Just for a moment, gently close your eyes. Take a slow, deep breath in. Can you feel the air filling your lungs, bringing life and energy into your body? Now, as you exhale, silently ask yourself, am I truly ready to see beyond the veil? Because once you learn this technique, there is no going back. Your perception of reality will be forever expanded. The forgotten gift we all have. Imagine, for a moment, that you have a third eye. I'm not talking about something mystical or strange, but a natural center of perception that is as much a part of you as your ability to dream. In fact, every single night when you enter the world of dreams, you unconsciously use this very power. Have you ever stopped to wonder how you can see, feel, and experience things so vividly in your dreams, all without using your physical eyes? This gift isn't something you need to go out and acquire. You already possess it. It's like a muscle you simply haven't used in a long time, or a powerful radio station you forgot how to tune into. Right now, it lies dormant within you, patiently waiting for you to remember how to switch it on. Think about a newborn baby. Have you ever noticed how they seem to gaze intently at what we would call empty space? sometimes with a look of pure wonder or a gentle smile, or how very young children often talk about friends or see things that adults have long since learned to ignore. They aren't just imagining things. They are using this innate ability naturally, just as you once did. The most fascinating part is that your brain is the supercomputer, processing far more information than you are consciously aware of. Scientific studies have shown that our conscious mind only registers a tiny fraction of what our senses are actually picking up every second. Do you remember that uncanny feeling of someone staring at you, only to turn around and lock eyes with them? That wasn't a lucky guess. That was your inner vision at work, processing data beyond the normal limits of your perception. Every gut feeling that turned out to be right, every moment of intuition when you just knew something was about to happen. Every time you thought of someone right before they contacted you, those weren't coincidences. They were powerful moments when your natural, forgotten gift broke through the noise, acting like a perfect spiritual reflex. As you continue to listen, let's try a small exercise. Bring your awareness to the point on your forehead, right between your eyebrows. Don't strain, just gently notice what you feel there. Do you perceive a slight pressure, a gentle, pulsing tingle? Some might feel a subtle warmth, others a soft, prickling sensation. Whatever you feel is perfect. What matters is that by simply placing your focus there, you are beginning to stimulate the activation point of your inner vision. You are already laying the foundation to awaken this forgotten gift. The 3 pillars of inner awakening. Imagine you are about to build a house. But this isn't just any house. It's a sacred bridge, a structure that will connect the world you see with the world you feel. What kind of foundation would you need to build? That is the exact question the ancient masters asked themselves, and after centuries of dedicated practice, they discovered 3 core, non-negotiable elements. These are the 3 pillars, and without any one of them, the entire structure of inner sight will collapse. That is why I need you to pay very close attention to each one. The first pillar is conscious silence. I'm not talking about the external quiet you get when you turn off the TV or go into the woods. I'm talking about a much deeper, more profound silence, the sacred space between your thoughts. Do you remember those fleeting moments, right as you're about to fall asleep, when your racing mind finally quiets down? That is the fertile silence we must learn to cultivate, but while remaining fully awake and aware. It is in this stillness that your true power resides. The second pillar is sacred breathing. Right now, you are breathing automatically, without thought, but what happens when you take conscious, deliberate control of your breath? Something truly amazing occurs. Your body, your mind, and your spirit begin to synchronize. The ancients discovered that certain rhythmic breathing patterns act like secret keys, unlocking doors to new levels of perception. This is no coincidence. In nearly every ancient tradition, the breath was revered as the sacred link between the physical world and the unseen spiritual realms. Directed focus is our third pillar, and in today's world of endless distraction, it is perhaps the most challenging to master. Think of your attention like a powerful laser beam. When it's scattered and unfocused, its light is weak and has little impact. But when you concentrate that same beam of light onto a single point, it can become powerful enough to cut through steel. Your ability to maintain your focus is a spiritual muscle. The more you train it, the stronger it becomes. And when you combine this pillar with the other two, something magical happens. These three pillars are not separate techniques. They work together in a beautiful synergy, like the ingredients of an ancient, sacred recipe. When mixed in the right way, at the right time, they unlock something deep within you that has been waiting patiently to be set free. It's like having three different keys, and you need all of them, used in concert, to unlock the ultimate door. Preparing your personal space. Before we dive into the specific techniques, we need to talk about preparation. A very common mistake is thinking you need to create some elaborate spiritual space with special candles, incense, and mystical symbols. While those things can certainly help set a mood, the most important preparation happens in a much more intimate space: your mind. Think of your mind as a beautiful garden that has been left untended for years. The weeds of worry, distraction, and looping thoughts have grown wild everywhere. It's time for you to become the master gardener of your own mental space. You don't need to clear the entire garden at once. That would be overwhelming. You simply need to start by creating one small, clear, sacred patch where you can begin your work. This preparation begins with a simple but powerful first step: making a conscious decision. Every time you decide to practice, you are consecrating a moment in your day, setting it aside as special. This can happen in your bedroom, on a bench in a quiet park, or even during your lunch break at work. The physical location is secondary. What truly matters is the power of your intention and your commitment. Of course, external factors like temperature, light, and noise can affect your practice, but you do not need perfect conditions. In fact, learning to work with whatever is around you is a powerful part of the training itself. Is there traffic noise outside? Wonderful. Use that sound as a tool to help you deepen your focus. As an anchor to the present moment, what is most vital in preparing your space is consistency. 10 minutes of dedicated practice every single day, even in less than perfect conditions, is infinitely more powerful than waiting for that one perfect hour on the weekend that may never come. Your mind learns through repetition, and each time you create this special moment for yourself, even briefly, you are strengthening the foundation of your practice and reinforcing your bridge to the inner worlds. The SCP breathing ritual. Now, we arrive at the most potent part of this initial journey, the SCP breathing ritual. Please understand, this is more than just a simple breathing exercise. It is a finely tuned key, designed to systematically unlock states of consciousness you might not have known were possible. Why 7 breaths? Because this number corresponds to the specific SCP levels of depth we need to journey through to reach a state of expanded awareness. The first breath is like throwing open the window in a room that has been sealed shut for years. As you inhale slowly and deeply, imagine you are drawing a warm, golden light into your entire body. You don't need to strain to see it. Just hold the intention. As you exhale, Feel any stress or physical tension leaving your body like a cloud of dust being gently blown away. This first breath sets the tone for everything that follows. With the second and third breaths, you might start to notice something unusual happening. The perception of time may seem to slow down. The frantic pace of your everyday mind begins to recede into the background. This is completely normal and a sign that it's working. Make sure each inhale is even deeper than the last, as if you are filling not just your lungs, but every single cell in your body with this vital energy. With each exhale, allow your eyelids to become heavy and relaxed, but keep your mind sharp and alert. The fourth and fifth breaths are the most crucial. This is the stage where many people experience their very first glimpse of inner vision. It might be a distinct sensation of pressure or tingling at the center of your forehead, or a feeling that your head is gently expanding. Some people even report seeing soft, swirling colors or blowing geometric patterns, even with their eyes closed. The key here is not to chase or hold on to these experiences. Simply observe them with a gentle curiosity while continuing to focus on your deep, rhythmic breathing. The final 2 breaths mark the last stage of the ritual. By this point, your body will be deeply calm, and your mind will be in a state of profound stillness. Yet you will be fully alert. It's like balancing perfectly on the edge of sleep while remaining completely conscious. At this point, the boundary between your inner and outer worlds becomes incredibly thin. The key is to simply remain in this state without forcing anything to happen. Remember, inner vision is like a wild, beautiful animal. You cannot chase it down. It will approach you when it feels safe, when the time is right. The blind spot of consciousness. Have you ever paid close attention to that strange, fleeting moment just before you fall asleep? That magical territory where you are neither fully awake nor fully asleep. This in-between space is what the ancient mystics called the blind spot of consciousness. It's a mental state we all pass through every single night, but we rarely notice it, and even less often do we know how to consciously tap into its incredible power. Imagine your mind as a continuous river of thoughts. The blind spot is like a silent, deep whirlpool in that stream, a brief pause where everything slows down and the normal laws of thought don't seem to apply. It isn't emptiness, rather, it's a space of pure potential where something extraordinary can emerge. It's called the blind spot because, just like the physical blind spot in your vision, it's always there, but you can't look at it directly. The very act of trying to see it makes it vanish. But the difference is, with the right kind of practice, you can learn to recognize, inhabit, and expand this space. To find your blind spot, you need to develop a new kind of soft attention, not the hard focus we usually use. It's like learning to see with your mental peripheral vision. You can start by simply observing your thoughts as they float by, without judging them or getting attached to them. Eventually, you will begin to notice tiny, silent gaps between them. These gaps are the doorways. They are the first signs of your blind spot. The most surprising thing happens when you learn to gently rest in these moments. Allowing them to extend, time itself seems to become elastic, and hidden perceptions become more accessible. In the quiet background of your mind, information that has always been there begins to rise to the surface. As your usual mental filtering system temporarily steps aside, this is the true beginning of seeing beyond what you thought you knew. The dance of brain waves. Finally, have you ever noticed how your mental state naturally shifts and changes throughout the day? It's like a beautiful, natural dance. Sometimes you feel sharp, focused, and alert. Other times, you're more relaxed, dreamy, and creative. And of course, there are those moments when you're drifting in the space between being awake and asleep. These shifts are not random. They represent different patterns of your mind's electrical activity, different brain waves, like a radio gracefully changing channels. Imagine your mind is a vast ocean with different currents flowing at different depths. On the surface, where the waves are the most active and sometimes choppy, is your normal, busy waking state. That's probably where you are right now. It's essential for navigating day-to-day life. But to tap into your inner vision, you need to learn how to dive deeper. As you go beneath the surface, you reach calmer, more receptive states, like gliding through the deep, quiet waters of the ocean. This is where the magic happens. You have likely experienced this without even realizing it. Those moments of sudden creative clarity right before you fall asleep, or those flashes of profound intuition you get while on a peaceful walk in nature. What's so exciting is that you can learn to consciously move between these states. It's not about forcing anything, but about learning to gently ride the natural waves of your own mind. You can start by simply noticing when you are naturally more receptive and open, perhaps very early in the morning, or during the quiet twilight hours around dusk. These times are natural portals, moments when the veil between the worlds feels thinner. These states are more than just relaxed moods. They are distinct frequencies of perception, each with its own unique feeling and potential. With practice, you'll learn to recognize these subtle shifts and eventually switch between them at will. Like a masterful musician moving gracefully from one note to another, as you learn to master this incredible dance of your own consciousness. Moving between these states at will, you are truly stepping onto the path of the seer. But this path, like all great adventures, is not without its trials. It has guardians and gatekeepers who will test your resolve, not to stop you, but to ensure you are ready for the wisdom that lies ahead. As you learn to master this incredible inner dance of your own consciousness, moving between these states at will, you are truly stepping onto the path of the seer. But this path, like all great adventures, is not without its trials. This brings us to a critical part of your journey, meeting the guardians of the threshold. Now, do not be afraid of these challenges. In fact, if they fail to appear, that is when you should truly worry, for their absence would mean you are not making any real progress. You must understand, these guardians are not your enemies. They are profound teachers in disguise, each one arriving to offer you a lesson you are now ready to learn. A key you need to unlock the next door. The first guardian you will inevitably meet is doubt. I'm not talking about the simple, surface-level doubt of whether this method works. No, this is a much deeper, more personal doubt that seems to well up from the very core of your being. You might begin to question not just the practice itself, but your entire perception of reality. This is completely normal, and it is a very good sign. It means you are successfully breaking down a lifetime of conditioning about what is possible and what is not. Next, you will face the second guardian, fear. Again, this is not the ordinary fear of a specific, physical danger. It is a more subtle, almost primal fear. The fear of losing your current, comfortable understanding of what is real. As you begin to explore these expanded states of consciousness, a part of you will naturally hesitate. It's like standing on the edge of a deep, beautiful pool of water. You know, intellectually, that you can swim, but something inside you holds its breath just before the dive. This resistance is not a flaw. It is natural and necessary. It is the soul's way of preparing you for the depths you are about to explore. Then comes the guardian that may be the toughest challenge in our modern world of instant gratification, impatience. You will want immediate results, won't you? You'll crave those clear, undeniable signs that you're making progress. But inner vision is like a mystical garden. You can operate the seeds to sprout or rush the flowers to bloom any faster. They grow in their own sacred time. Impatience, you will find, is actually a beautiful opportunity to develop a new, more profound relationship with the rhythm of the universe itself. Finally, the most subtle, and perhaps most important guardian, is the spiritual ego. As you begin to have incredible experiences, as your perception broadens in ways you never thought possible, you might feel a creeping sense of being special, or more advanced than others. This guardian is a master, here to teach you the invaluable lessons of humility and discernment. The most profound experiences, you see, often happen not when we are striving to see, but when we completely let go of the need to be the one who sees. These guardians never truly disappear. Instead, as you learn their lessons, they transform from gatekeepers into powerful allies. Doubt sharpens into wise discernment. Fear evolves into a deep respect for the unknown. Impatience blossoms into a genuine appreciation for the journey, not just the destination, and the spiritual ego dissolves into true, heartfelt humility. So every time you feel that resistance rising, remember, you are not facing an obstacle. You are undergoing a sacred initiation, the moment of awakening, and after the initiations comes the magic. There is a moment, a magical moment that everyone on this path experiences, though they all describe it differently. Some call it the click, others speak of a quantum leap, but honestly, words will never do it justice. It's like trying to explain the taste of fresh water to someone who has only ever known thirst. But when it happens, you will know it with every fiber of your being. The first signs are often beautifully subtle. Colors might seem richer, more vivid, meaningful coincidences, or synchronicities may begin to happen with startling frequency. You might wake up in the morning with a distinct feeling that you have traveled to incredible places that your logical mind simply cannot explain. Think of these as the first, gentle raindrops before a cleansing storm. Small hints that a profound shift is about to change the very lens through which you see everything. The experience itself can be as gentle as a whisper in your soul, or as powerful as the sudden, blinding flash of insight. For some, it feels like taking off an invisible blindfold they never knew they were wearing. Suddenly, the entire world looks breathtakingly new, even though nothing on the outside has changed at all. For others, the shift is more gradual, and they only realize it in hindsight, much like noticing that it's suddenly daylight without ever having pinpointed the exact moment the dawn came. And the most fascinating part, this awakening happens in layers. Just when you believe you've reached the summit, you discover a whole new, deeper vista waiting for you. It's like opening a single door only to find yourself in a magnificent hall filled with countless new doors to explore. Each awakening is deeper than the last, each understanding more profound. But here is the most important warning. You cannot force this moment to happen. It's like trying to force yourself to fall in love. The more you try to chase and control it, the more it will elude you. Your job is not to hunt it down, but to create the most welcoming conditions for its arrival, and to be fully, peacefully present when it comes. Ironically, it often appears in the very moment you stop looking for it, in a moment of complete and total surrender. Navigating the deep waters, once your inner vision awakens, you enter a new and wondrously unfamiliar space. It's almost like gaining a divine sense, the ability to perceive things you couldn't before. But with this incredible gift comes an equally incredible responsibility. You must learn to navigate these deeper layers of reality with wisdom, care, and balance. You'll start to notice time behaving in strange ways. Moments may feel like they're stretching into eternity or shrinking into an instant. You might experience sudden downloads of insight that condense years of learning into a split second, or have a gentle, knowing sense of events before they happen. Don't be alarmed. It's just like learning to swim. At first, the water feels alien, but with practice, you'll learn to move through these new currents with natural grace. Synchronicities will begin to happen so often that you can no longer dismiss them as mere coincidence. It will feel as if the universe itself is speaking to you in a secret language of symbols and meaningful connections. You'll learn to read these signs, not as fixed predictions, but as loving signposts, pointing toward possible pathways and potentials. Still, it is vital to balance this newfound confidence with sharp discernment. One of the most subtle challenges is learning to recognize the different flavors of expanded perception. Just as your physical eyes can distinguish a real tree from its shimmering reflection in the water, your inner vision will reveal different levels of reality. Some may be symbolic dreams, others fleeting glimpses of possible futures, all deep, unshakable insights into the nature of reality itself. The key to navigating these deep waters is to build what the ancients called the anchor. This isn't a fixed, rigid point to cling to, but rather a deep, dynamic trust in your own ability to stay balanced, no matter how unfamiliar the territory becomes. And this anchor is built through consistent practice, mindful observation, and most importantly, a commitment to being completely and radically honest with yourself. return and integration. Now, let's talk about the part of the journey that might seem the least exciting, but is, in truth, the most important. How to bring these extraordinary experiences back into your everyday life. After all, what good is accessing these incredible states of consciousness if they don't transform how you are at the grocery store, at your job, or with the people you love? Integration begins with a simple, though often challenging, task: learning to keep one foot in each world. Think of yourself as a skilled translator, moving fluidly between two different languages. One is the language of ordinary, everyday experience, and the other is the language of expanded perception. At first, you might feel like a stranger in your own world, noticing subtleties and energies you once ignored. It's like watching an old, familiar movie but with a new set of subtitles that reveal a much deeper, richer meaning to everything you thought you already knew. A powerful key to integration is keeping what I call a navigator's journal. This doesn't need to be a formal, leather-bound diary. A simple note-taking app on your phone is perfect. The goal is to briefly record your experiences, and most importantly, to note how they connect to and affect your daily life. For instance, you might note that strange hunch you had to change your driving route, only to avoid a massive traffic jam, or that sudden urge to call an old friend, right at the exact moment they needed to hear from someone. Over time, these small, seemingly random data points become landmarks on a map, and when you connect them, they begin to reveal the breathtaking patterns the universe is weaving through your life. At this stage, you might feel an overwhelming urge to share everything you're experiencing with everyone you know. This is so natural. When you discover something this beautiful and powerful, you want the whole world to experience it too. But this is where true wisdom and discernment must be applied. Not everyone is ready or even open to hearing about these experiences, and that's perfectly okay. True mastery isn't about showing off your new perceptions. It's about quietly using them to become a more effective, more compassionate, and more present human being in your own life. Integration also means learning to consciously manage your energy. As your sensitivity increases, you'll become more aware of the subtle energies of people, places, and situations. As if your internal volume dial has been turned up, you will naturally start finding new ways to balance yourself, like spending more quiet time in nature, or establishing daily routines that help you feel grounded and centered. Pay attention to these needs. They are your new internal compass, guiding your new way of being. The final paradox. And this all leads to a beautiful, final paradox. The more you integrate these extraordinary experiences into your life, the more they start to feel normal, not in a dull way that robs them of their magic, but in a beautiful way, because your very definition of normal expands to include the miraculous. Inner vision will become as natural as physical sight. There will be no separation between the mystical and the everyday. Everything will blend into a continuous, wondrous dance of discovery. Here is the ultimate truth. Integration is an ongoing process. Each day offers you new opportunities to deepen your understanding, refine your perception, and use that wisdom in creative and meaningful ways. This isn't a destination you arrive at, but a never-ending journey of unfolding. As long as you keep that divine spark of curiosity alive, every single ordinary moment will hold the potential to reveal something truly extraordinary. You have just taken a courageous first step by discovering this ancient technique. But the road ahead is endless, filled with countless wonders and possibilities. Everyone who has walked this path before you has found their own unique way of exploring these uncharted realms of consciousness. If this journey has inspired you, just imagine all that we have yet to discover together. Subscribe to the channel and be sure to turn on all notifications so you won't miss the single step of what's to come. We'll continue to uncover the universe's greatest secrets and learn how to apply them to enrich our everyday lives. I'll see you in the next video.